Joining me live is Peter Matthews, Cyprus College Professor of Political Science. Thank you very much and good afternoon to you. What did you make of the speech from Biden?
Good afternoon, Jamie. It was very impressive in the sense that he had to show energy. He also had to show a grasp of issues. And he also had to use humor and to be able to be quick on his feet with Republicans at times heckling him. And he did all of those three things and probably more. Now, here's the thing. He went all the way from economic issues to social issues. He had a whole slew of issues that he talked about that he would like to bring in or that he already has brought in. More jobs, lower inflation rates, all the way to IVF, guaranteeing IVF for women and for family planning, pro-choice on abortion, all kinds of things that he actually said, look, I've done these things or I will be doing even more. And that really impressed many people, including Democrats, especially Democrats, but also the independents seem to have come aboard on his side, most of them, the independent voters, which is very important.
And what's the mood like where you are? What are people saying?
Well, it's the people who didn't want him to win, don't want him to win, and the hardcore Trump supporters, they're not impressed at all by Biden. They find some other way to say that he's not quite up to par. But most people, I think, especially the Democrats and independents, are quite impressed. People were surprised that he had that kind of energy. He had to project energy. His age has been a big, as you mentioned, his age has been a big factor because he's 81 years old, and he's amazing for that age to be able to do what he did. But he has to, in the campaign, show he can also go out there and campaign and be with people in public and hold press conferences and answer questions. But overall, he's pointing out to his record in which the economy has gotten better, but people haven't felt it individually. Many people haven't yet. They hopefully will, or they'll be able to say, look, let's give him a chance. Also, there's one other thing. He wants to let the voters know there's a very great danger from his opponent. And he's showing that President Trump can be very unpredictable, and it could cause a lot of problems in terms of his past record and when he was president. So President Biden is also using that danger warning to the people to get them to vote for him, even though some people may not be so enthusiastic about him, but many are, of course, in this case.
So, Professor, it's looking almost certain that it's going to be a Trump-Biden rematch, a bit of deja vu. What's this going to look like, in your opinion?
It is deja vu, isn't it? But it's going to look like different than 2020 because this time you're looking at probably the most consequential election, and I think many people feel it. Even though many people did not want these two men to be the top two candidates, they wanted to have other choices. Now they're down to this. This is the wire. This is it, down to the wire. The only two choices they have, and this differences are stark. The paths these men will charter in different directions for the United States is very different from each other, and it'll make people feel my voice is going to count. So even though some Biden supporters may not be as enthusiastic as perhaps others, they will still go to the polls and vote for him, I'm predicting. He does have to reach out to groups such as young people, whom he is disappointed in terms of what's been happening in Gaza. And he's taking a firmer line now on getting food and aid to the Gaza people, and also stopping Israel from creating a lot of these deaths and some of the activity in Israel, in Gaza, by Israel, has caused so much death. 31,000 people died. Mr. Biden has been very clear that this is not tolerable anymore, and he's telling the people that he's going to go ahead and get a ceasefire going. He's got a plan for it, and hopefully he'll get that done. The young people will come, some of them will come back to vote for him on that, but also he has to bring back the African-American vote, the Latino vote, and the women are voting for him heavily now because of his strong position on abortion, choice, and IVF. So I think he'll bring them back. President Trump has a very hardcore, loyal base of support. He's got millions of people supporting him too. It should be very close. The polling today showed it's exactly tied at 45% each, and 10% are still undecided. But that'll come down to the wire. They'll all make up their minds eventually at the end.